All right, boys and girls, I want to do a quick video. A guy asked today, and I've seen it asked several times. Guys were asking about how to wire up one of these panel mount, cheapy voltmeters. If you want to have just something to read your voltage, you know, of what your amp is receiving or what your car is doing, or whatever. Now, if you see this, and I don't know if it's going to, how well it's going to focus, but you see where the red wire comes in there, it's soldered to the board, and the black wire ground is soldered to the board. Now those wires typically are very fragile. They may even break off, so you may have to get some speaker wire or something, 18, 20 gauge, and resolder that if it breaks. Now you may want to extend those wires if you're going to run this voltage meter up front. You see that little adjustment potentiometer right there? That is to calibrate your voltage readout to match your multimeter, whatever you got for a multimeter. You see right up there, my panel mount, which that's really just a larger version of the same thing. So that's that. And as far as how you want to mount that, you can, hot glue, get some plastic, a Dremel tool. You can very carefully, if you want to cut out in your, plastic of your vehicle, and have that, see how the thickness of it, have that feed through and look like it's made into the dash, whatever. But and you can extend these wires. Just to be on the safe side, I'd probably fuse it for 3 amps or something like that. It doesn't need that much, but have some sort of fuse in it just in case. Now the question was, the guy was saying, how do I wire in to turn the voltmeter on and off? Well, there's a few ways you can do it, and one of them I mentioned to him, you can add it to your remote wire in the amp. Now we just did a video of testing this recoil, and this has spade terminals, but nevertheless, if you have an amp, you can wrap or solder or crimp or whatever the wire, the hot wire from that voltmeter to the remote wire, and then you can get your ground. You can do it here. That may be troublesome with some of your bigger amps and your bigger wires, because putting that little tiny wire in combined with your 1/0 wire, I suppose if you strip off enough of it and feed it inside of a ferrule and then put it in, then tighten it down, it's possible you could put it there. In the case of this one, this was just temporary, so I spiral wrapped around the ground wire and then stuck it in the spade and tightened it. Now this is just for a bench test. If you were to, where's the spades that came with that, you may spiral wrap the negative wire around your negative ground wire that's going to feed the amp before you put the spade terminal on it, then crimp it, solder it, whatever. Now just remember, like I said, this wire that comes with it, these panel mounts, is extremely fragile. It's not very flexible. It will break. For that matter, any 18, 20 gauge wire is going to be a little bit fragile and easy to break. So it'll help if you run a piece of heat shrink, whatever, an inch long, to take the pressure off of wherever that jacket, like this, wherever you have that stripped. This is the point where it will break, where the jacket is and the wire is not exposed. So if you wrap that around or solder it or crimp it or whatever you do, and then put a little piece of heat shrink, a 1/2 inch, just something to get where any kind of pull will be a little ways back from where that junction is here, and you won't break the wire off. So that's number one. Number two, And this is your remote wire, in this case of the test. You can also, put a toggle switch. And the toggle switch here, this is a single pole, single throw switch. You're just breaking the connection. So if you were to say, come out of your remote, or if you're coming out of your positive to your voltmeter, you could cut that wire and solder either side of the cut to either side of that switch. Then you've got a on and off. You can do that on the ground side. It doesn't matter. Either side can be switched. Because if you break the ground, it'll turn on. If you connect the ground, it'll turn, break the ground and turn off. Connect the ground, whatever. You get what I'm saying. But, so you can put a switch in it if you want to. If you do it this way with the remote, just make sure that your remote shuts power off to it when you turn the car off, so you don't constantly run this voltmeter and kill your battery. So, in the case of, let's see if we can do this here, very carefully and gingerly. Here is a hot wire. And here is your voltmeter. And if we were to solder that together, it's not on. But if we flip the switch, yeah. Okay, well. Do I have that hooked up? Yeah. Unless I got a bad switch. That should be on. Or I'm just not holding it quite right. Because I'm trying to do this video with my phone in between my knees. So anyway, switch on. You see the voltmeter light up. Switch off. If you have it run to your remote and you turn your car off, your remote turns off. When you turn the car off, it should kill it right there. So that's it for simple hookup of a cheapy panel mount voltmeter to your remote positive of the amplifier and the amplifier ground. Have a good day.